Let that one loose a bit, Paul.
Okay, good afternoon or happy Monday everybody. We are back for the Stewart 34 Championship Series. This time we are on board the yellow submarine Psyche, and we have got a few celebrities on board today in the way of Nick Johnson, Tim Snedden and Bradley McLaughlin from Yacht Racing, who are currently ranked second in the world in the match racing rankings. That's quite a privilege to be on board with these legends out here today. So that's enough of that rubbish. Let's have a quick introduction of the crew. So who have we got here, Paul? This is you, obviously.
This is me. Yeah, I'm the humble owner of Psyche, trying to keep it all going and happening.
And the humble president.
And the humble president. And this is Stan, my regular crewman.
Hi, I'm Stan, General Dog's Body.
I'm Nick EJ, second time sailing Stewart's. Can't believe Paul's invited me back after the last time.
Yeah, look, we will talk about last time you sailed on a Stewart 34 a little bit later in the show, Nick Johnson. We'll come back to that and save that for some mid-race banter. Who have we got here?
I'm Tim, I'm crewing the main tonight. I'm a regular on the boat as well.
Well, that's good to see. I can't quite get up any further because it's a bit messy up here.
G'day, I'm Ethan, I'm on the mast tonight.
Good to be here.
Great, Ethan. And who have we got here? What a legend.
I'm Bradley, I'm on the bow tonight.
And Bradley has come all the way from England to sail on Stewart 34s. Just for Stewart's. And my name is Sue Ellen, and we are, as I said, coming to you live from the Stewart 34 Championship Series. This is the second night of racing on these classic boats. Paul, just really quickly, give us a bit of a quick history on Psyche.
Psyche was built in 1981. It was built by Ken Devon and subsequently sold to Rick Royden, and Rick campaigned the boat for a long time. He was incredibly successful in it, and unfortunately I don't think I'll ever fill his shoes, but it's a heap of fun sailing the boat, absolutely.
So just another little bit of history about this boat. The boat was launched in 1981. The sail is about the same year, the main sail is about the same year of age, and the spinnaker is about 10 years old. And now tell us a little bit about this brand new headsail. I do believe that you are victorious in getting that sail.
Well, actually, you have to thank you, Sue Ellen, for picking the winning prize, the winning ball out of the barrel, and we won it last year. The association put a new headsail up for a prize, and we're wearing it tonight. It's a fantastic North sail.
Absolutely, it is a fantastic sail, and it goes really, really well with the ancient main and the ancient spinnaker.
And the ancient owner.
Yeah, the ancient owner. Oh, we won't be that cruel to Paul. So the other thing as well, we are coming up to the start. And does somebody want to give us a bit of an ETA as to what's going on, kids?
It's either 1 minute or 6 minutes to go, so we haven't quite figured that one out yet.
1 minute or 6 minutes. It's always great when you've got confidence on board. Alrighty. So, not too sure if everybody can hear us. I'm just going to try and do a bit of a test here. Yeah, okay, I think we do have volume. So, for those who are just tuning in, feel free to get involved in the conversation, chat amongst yourselves, get a little bit cheeky, and get involved in some of the best racing in Auckland. I'm just going to sort some few things out here, so just bear with us for a second.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Long 4 days.
So last time we were on board Playboy, and it was action stations all round, and you might have seen a few wee incidents take place on board Playboy, one which resulted in a protest for the second race between Playboy and other series favourite Prince Hal, which actually resulted in Prince Hal being disqualified. Apparently our video evidence was enough to help push that protest through, and yeah, there was a few unhappy people and a few happy people, needless to say. Guy Pilkington on board Playboy, the former underwear model, was extremely stoked with the outcome of the result of the protest. However, Prince Hal was quite upset that they did get disqualified, which has pushed them down to 4th overall in the series after 4 races. And we've got Prince Hal there and Prism coming to you live, and we are on the western side of the Auckland Harbour Bridge today. A little bit different race area to where we were last time. It's a low tide at about 6:30. It's a lot lighter than what it was last time. We've only got about 7 knots here at the moment, but that's enough to push these massive old 34-foot beasts across the line. And we do need to have a special hello to our regular viewer Tom Pilkington, who will be watching. No doubt he'll be cheering for Playboy. However, today, Tom, I really do hope that you cheer for Psyche, because that's the boat that we're on.
Yeah, I'll be back.
So, Nick Egnon-Johnson, just really quickly, I know you're quite busy. Tell us what the tactic is at the start here with you on the helm.
Well, firstly, avoid all the marks. Secondly, we've got a lot of tide going out. Just going to try to stick to the shoreline and start at the boat. It's pretty biased. So, yeah, pretty simple racetrack, I think, today.
So I'm also hoping not to get punched in the face or nearly thrown off the boat. There are a lot of cables involved in this live streaming, so we did have a few issues last time. I think we've overcome them for this time, and I'm actually just hoping I stay on board. It's a little bit of a different setup on board the Psyche as it is to Playboy. I'm not gonna lie, Paul. I think it's easier to be on Playboy apart from my mental health. But we're going to do our best to stay on board. No guarantees. And if you are tuning in, guys, thank you from everybody who is watching. We hope that we don't have the same issues as last time. Pretty sure you won't. If you could see the setup, it's actually a little crazy how many cables and tape that I've got holding everything together, but that's what we do here. This isn't professional, this is fun, this is a little bit crazy. This is Stewart 34 racing at its best. So don't forget to tell us where you're from, get involved in the conversation, be a part of it. I think we've got about 4 minutes to go. The P flag is flying. This is race 5 of the 2019-2020 Stewart 34 Championship Series, which is also the 60th anniversary of racing of this classic class here in Auckland.
Hey Tim, could you stick that inside in the shoulder?
So apparently all our bets are on, and Tom Pilkington has actually said that Playboy is going to destroy Psyche tonight. I think that's a challenge that we're willing to take. All we have to hope for is that Nick Egnon-Johnson does not pick up the top mark. He has been known to do in Stewart 34 racing, not once in one night, but twice, resulting in racing to be cancelled for the entire fleet due to the night dragging on far too long, meaning that we lost sunlight. Nick, how does it feel to be an international celebrity when it comes to ruining racing?
Oh, not good, Sir Alan, not good.
We're going to redeem ourselves tonight, aren't we, Nick?
Absolutely.
Okay, 156. I reckon we're... 40 seconds from here. What do you reckon, Tim? Yeah, something like that. Okay.
So if you are just tuning in, we are coming up. We are almost a minute away from race 5 of the 60th anniversary of Stewart 34 Championship Series racing here in Auckland. We are west of the Harbour Bridge in a different race course area than where we were last time. Very different conditions to last time as well. The low tide is at 6:30, which is in half an hour. We've got quite light breeze tonight. I've only got about sort of 6 to 8 knots at the moment, but that's all these lovely classic yachts need to push themselves around an extremely short and tight windward leeward course. We are on board. There is 1 minute to go. We are on board Psyche with Nick Egnon-Johnson, who's currently ranked 2nd in the world in the match racing standings. He is on the helm. No pressure for the young buck.
I'm taking us down here.
They won't lay it.
It's definitely a lot quieter on board the Psyche than it was on Playboy. But here we are gearing up for the start. There we go, there is the start. We are a little bit back from the line, but we will be okay. We're not going to get squeezed out. Actually, not too much of a bad start there by Nick Egnott Johnson. Oh, could get dicey here.
Yeah, okay. You got a stand? All your stand?
As you can see, we had just tapped just after crossing that finish line at the boat end. That was the call from Nick. Probably not the greatest start, but it was a clean start. Clean start for the Psyche.
All your stand?
Breeze has probably come up to about 8 knots now. We have got a west southwesterly here on the harbour, on the western side of the harbour. Very different to where we were last time. And the sound signal that you heard then was the 5-minute gun for the non-spinnaker division. So just to get a little bit of a recap from where we were after the 4 races, Playboy leads the series on 5 points with a 2nd and 3 firsts. Psyche is in 2nd place on 9 points. Passion is in 3rd place on 16 points, and Prince Hal, who did get that disqualification in race 2, is on 17 points in 4th place. And Psyche is currently in 6th, and we'll be hoping to work our way up the ladder a little bit more after today's results.
Yeah, hard passing up.
It'll be warm for late. We're matching Playboy.
Talk us through, guys.
Are we stepping now? We can keep going up to the north?
Yeah, you can go right to the north. And it's probably still kind of the outgoing side here.
Paul Groom, you've just had Scotty Dixon all the way from America wishing you good luck in this, saying hi.
Hey Scotty, wish you're on board, mate, but we'll see you when you get here for Christmas.
So Timmy Sneddon, just talk us through what we're about to do.
We just kind of covered into the wharf here, so we're going to attack at some point, but we knew it was going to shift right up here, so that's kind of why we came in here. So hopefully we come out alright.
You happy to cut stand?
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot quieter on board the Psyche than it was on Playboy. Coming in for attack. Very different conditions to what we had last time. We had quite a gusty sort of 15 knots last time from the southwest, and it's very different today, a lot lighter. These old Stewart 34s really do like to have a little bit of breeze, but this is enough to get us going. You can see Playboy there, who crossed us there on port. Playboy looking famous again. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We are on one of only 3 boats that has come out to the right hand side of the course. Everybody now is starting to make their way across. You can see Prince Hal there in the distance. Prince Hal does look to have control of this race at the moment, but Stewart 34 racing is known to change with a click of a finger, so anything is possible. So for those that are just tuning in, we are on board Psyche, which was launched in 1981. So this boat is actually older than most of the crew on board. And before we actually got underway, Timmy Sneddon there, who's zooming in on here now, Timmy Sneddon said that this is some of the most exciting racing that he does in his sailing career, and he's travelled the world, raced against some of the world's best, but Stewart 34 racing is what keeps this man alive. Isn't that right, Sneb?
Absolutely.
All right, Paul, how are we feeling at the moment? We do look quite deep.
Yeah, I think if we get to the other side of the group, we might do all right, but we're not looking fantastic at the moment. There's still a couple of leagues to go.
As we look up to the fleet, as he said, we're not looking famous, but it can change. All we need is one wee shift and we can get ourselves propelled forward and into that gate mark, which you can probably just see up in the distance. Actually, it looks like Psyche has completely taken control. Psyche is at least 150 metres ahead of the next boat, which is Prince Hal. See, it did look like Prince Hal had control, but Psyche is about to round the first of the top marks. It looks like we do have an offset this time. We didn't have one last time. And Psyche is around there, as you can see. So Psyche currently leading the charge. They are second overall in the series, behind Playboy. And that's a great first leg for Psyche. And without wanting to be too dramatic, good old Psyche is leading the charge at the back of the fleet. But that's okay, at least everyone on board looks fantastic. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Yours, Stan?
Yep.
Old school cleats here to keep everything sorted out, and I just want to give you an example here. Yeah, there's the water, and that's how I'm staying on board, just by that foot. And the rain is setting in, which is not ideal for the equipment on board, but that's all right, we're going to push through. We have managed to catch up a wee bit. There's Passion that's just passed in front of us on starboard. They are going to have to do another tack though to get into the top mark. We are amongst the crowd here. Have to say it's very quiet on board the Psyche. Not a lot of vocals, but the talking that is happening is vital and important and all necessary. It's actually quite civilised. We're going in for our tack. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know Passion has tacked underneath us there. So we are leading the charge at the back of the fleet at the moment. Yes, Psyche is deep, but that's all right. We can recover. You can see there's Passion there. We did overlay that top mark, but safety first. As we get ready for the hoist. And this is the first downwind of race 5, the first race of the night. For the 60th anniversary of Stewart 34 racing here on Auckland Harbour, hosted by the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. There he goes, that kite is up, and have a look at that beautiful glamour spinnaker. This is an ancient spinnaker as well, still has the Hyundai branding on from years ago. And that was quite a good set. We're managing to roll over the top of Passion now. Nick Ignot Johnson is a bit of a wizard when it comes to downwind sailing. Let's see if he can propel us forward and get us out of the wooden spoon position in race 5. So there we go, a nice little roll of Passion there. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, not sorry. A little bit of banter going on between the boats is expected and required. So EJ, just talk us through that first leg.
Oh, we just got shafted on the right hand side of the course there. Thought we'd be getting title relief, but ended up just missing a big lefty. So, oh well, learn for the next one.
And tell us, how are you going to recover for the next one?
Ooh, not hitting marks.
And maybe calling better on the tactics?
Yeah, we might just do the opposite side, I think. Big left hand pressure.
Fantastic, thanks for the update.
Yeah.
So if you are just...
Good downwind wheels here though.
Yeah, you do have some good legs going downwind. We did say that you were a bit of a wizard.
Him, actually. Oh.
Sorry? What was that? What did...
It's a pretty blunt razor by the look of it.
Yeah, you've got you got some great pins there. I can see that they're holding you upright. It's great to see.
Pressure over your right shoulders there, fellas. I think we've got a bit of speed here, eh?
How many knots have we got now? It's really lightened off. We've probably only got about 6 to 7 knots. Low tide is at 6:30 tonight as well. So it's good that that's not having too much of an impact about what's going on. We are on the first downwind leg. These are short windward leeward races, 2 upwind, 2 downwind to cross the finish line on the opposite side of the start line. So if you are tuning in, please let us know where you're from. It's always great to know where our viewers are. We do know that we've got Scotty Dixon watching from Long Beach in California. We know that we've got the entire Pilkington family who isn't out on the water watching as well. We've also got Bianca, who is Nick's girlfriend, watching, keeping a close eye, just making sure he is where he says that he is on a Monday night. That's the beauty of this live stream. At least you know where all the sailors are.
Which we're going right or left? Right there. Okay. Have we got a kite over that? Storage. Yeah, I've got a kite over that. Yeah, no. Just pick that half. Got to pile away with the operators.
This is probably one of the most exciting parts of the race, is a mark rounding. Everybody does like to get a little bit vocal. There's a fair amount of talking happening on Princess up in front, the boat that is more to windward there, coming around that mark now. This is a gate at the bottom there. Oh, is it? Maybe.
And Charlie back in. We're going around the right here, right turn, yeah.
Oh yeah, yep we are. Gate mark here, we are going around the right hand mark. And we are going to hope to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Thank you, Brent, for that little wee bit of advice. Not a great mark rounding by Princess or Precedent, who are there in front of us. So EJ here trying to bring it up the inside, but we're having an absolute shocker here. Look at that terrible drop. Everything is in an absolute mess. Not able to get the head sail on. What a debacle. Well, that's not fast. Messy. So this is a great example, kids, of what not to do at a mark rounding. You're not going to be able to gain places or do well with a terrible drop like that. And there's Passion, who we did manage to pass, but Passion has now taken control of the Psyche after a bad drop. No pressure, boys, but we are getting live streamed around the world. We might want to do better next time.
Good attack here, guys. Just pass the other one up. Okay, 2, 1.
Well, this is tough on the mind and the body. Especially when you know that you can do better.
Good this thing.
So yeah, for those that are tuning in, use this as training, perhaps as coaching on what not to do at mark rounding. And I may get thrown overboard for my comments here, but Paul, you got to admit that wasn't pretty.
No, it wasn't the best, but hey, first night out for the new crew.
Yeah, but your crew does have experience. Did you expect more from them?
Yeah, but they're a match racing crew, and nobody's match racing us. Okay, we got. Yeah. They are clear ahead just, but ready for it. Good angle. Yeah, just come down slightly. Come down.
So Paul, as owner of the boat, it's been asked for you to pull these young lads into line and put some pressure on them.
Yeah, but I'm not as good as Guy. It's sorting out the crew.
There's definitely no unsavoury language on board the Psyche tonight.
We promised.
You did promise. They did sign a disclaimer saying they would behave themselves. But actually, I think we need to throw that out the window. I think we need to hear some vocals. So EJ, you said you wanted to go up the right-hand side. Why are you going up the left?
I don't know, gotta try both.
Yeah, but you tried this one last time, it didn't work.
We're currently going up the right though.
Oh, the right, okay, I got my right and left around the wrong way. She got on left. You should have gone left, you're going right.
Shit coming around the mark and
We got good speed at the moment.
Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
If you are just tuning in, this is the second upwind leg of race 5 of the Stewart 34 Championship Series on board Psyche, the 60th anniversary of Stewart 34 racing in Auckland, New Zealand. We are on board Psyche, which was launched in 1981. The boat is older than most of the crew, but she still trucks along nicely, especially when sailed properly. Maybe we'll see that for the second race. It's been a while since EJ has steered at Stewart 34. Last time he did that, and he's going to hate me for this, he did hit the top mark not once, but twice. And did drag it a hell of a long way. But that's alright, isn't it, EJ? We can recover.
Yeah.
I think I'm off the Christmas card list. So you probably never made it onto the Christmas card list. So it was forecast to be no rain as well, so I'm quite disappointed that everything is getting saturated. Paul, what do you think?
I think it's a beautiful evening and we're having heaps of fun.
That just is way too PC for Stewart 34 racing. Look, that's okay. Every boat needs to have a drop. Maybe this is Psyche's drop for the series.
There's still quite a bit of tide there.
Yeah.
So the right hand side might be close to it. Yeah.
It's all very well mannered on board Psyche. Even when they had a horrendous drop at that bottom gate mark, that first gate mark, couldn't get the head salon. There was no yelling, no screaming. Everybody was very respectful of each other's feelings on board. There was no tears.
We didn't want Brad to say ladies not allowed.
The bowman has been told not to speak.
What's that?
He has a tendency to speak some rather good England from the bow, normally.
Hey, see this more twist like some or going a bit better on the side?
Brent, I'm going to answer your question. No. And as you can see, he's putting it back up into a man bun.
I can't believe how polite Bradley is. You're very polite, Brad.
So it's just been recommended that we do the Sydney to Hobart. I'm not too sure how comfortable I'd be doing a Sydney to Hobart and a Stewart 34.
It has been done.
When was that, Paul?
It was done in 1967.
1967, a Stewart 34 did the Sydney to Hobart. Well, they were brave sailors back then.
Ron Holland was on board.
Here we go. Around the top mark for the final time in this race. And if you are tuning in, we are on board Psyche, having an absolute mare in the first race, currently holding the wooden spoon. As we go for a hoist for the final time.
Stuck on the bow.
And that beautiful fluoro yellow spinnaker. Look at that, she is just beautiful, especially with the Hyundai branding. Hyundai are proud supporters of Live Sail Die and used to be heavily involved in the Stewart 34 class as well. Great to see these old spinnakers still trucking away. As you can see, we managing now just to a wee bit of an overtake here. Hopefully that wooden spoon gets thrown off the boat, because that's not a good way to start the night.
Yeah, we do want to get on the other side,
As mentioned last time we were on board Playboy, and right about now there'd be a fair amount of discussion going on about all the mistakes made, but there'd also be good laugh and good banter as well. But it's very civilised on board the Psyche.
We're just warming up, Sue Ellen.
Well, look, I'm actually hoping for a little bit more. Come on, we need to give the viewers something.
Okay, 3, 2, got this down?
So EJ, were you happy with that jibe?
Stoked with that. How good was that?
Yeah, that was like super
Full professional
fast.
team here,
And no shouting.
Yeah, I was really impressed. Actually, I think I yawned mid-jibe.
Paul's definitely biting his tongue.
So Wayne has just, hey, Paul, Wayne has just told us that he was actually going to do the 96 Hobart on board a Stewart. Oh no, just that he was going to do it. Maybe Wayne can give us a little bit more information there. It's really gone light. We've only probably got about 5 knots now. There's a wee bit of banter going on down there. There's probably some excellent commentary happening down on those 3 boats as they all struggle to find their spot. And we're just carving our way down nicely here on the final downwind leg, reining in Passion, who we did manage to overtake last time. EJ's going to use all of his match racing skills now to get in front of Passion. Don't know if he's going to have enough time though. How's the pressure of having the camera as well?
Oh, unbelievable.
Mate, you're just too calm, cool, collected.
Alright, here we go, driving. 2, 1.
Jesus. Nice little drive on top of Passion there. Wee bit of pressure on that boat. Is it going to be enough though? Could be. EJ is known to be powerful downwind, especially when he's got his trusty crew as well, doing everything that he asks for. There you go, just nicely sliding on top of Passion there. Just gave the boys a wave, but it's they are completely ignoring me. Not happy with what just happened there. So we've managed to go from last into 3rd to last. So 2 places on the last downwind leg of the first race of the night. Race number 5 in the series. Pretty sure Mark is on board Pahi tonight. So Pahi got the gun. Who got second, guys? I didn't see. Did anyone see who got second?
Prince Hal, I think.
Prince Hal second, and I think Playboy was 3rd. So again, it's the top 3 boats playing with each other in the top 3.
Hey, we're not donkeys, right?
Hey, yeah, we didn't get that wooden spoon.
Exactly.
So Tim, tell us how we managed to pick up 2 places in the last downwind.
We just had a nice set and a couple of good jibes, and that got us through. So. Full credit to Bradley up on the bow.
I thought it was how you trimmed your beard this morning. Eh?
Oh, it's good. Well, no, the beard didn't pick up any shifts today. We're on all the wrong side of them.
All right, we might actually jump down below and just show you what it's like down here. Too bad, I need to get dry. It's not about you at the moment, Paul, it's about the gear. Bowman Bradley doing an exceptional job here.
Your little Harley edition. Just let the Harley go, mate.
Oh yeah.
So Bradley's going to provide us with our post-race interview.
Oh no. Once we get the Harley down.
Yeah.
Little habit there, mate.
I tell you what, that was a pretty messy first drop.
Yeah, a little rusty on the first drop there. Sure we'll work it out for the next one.
Anyone would think that you did bow on other boats.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe a little bit out of practice?
I think the term "fake it till you make it" comes out quite hard in this sort of stuff.
Certainly
forget
does.
the old sheet and brace situation. Those little 887s don't have that, so oh well, we'll come back.
So as bowman on a Stewart 34, what are the key things that you look out for?
I guess the big thing is in the tacks and things like that, is making sure the jib doesn't go the wrong side of the stays. We've got 4 stays hanging out here, so everything gets in the way of each other. And then the pole's abnormally long for the size of the boat, so that makes things quite exciting in the jibes and the hoists. So just getting used to that. But, yeah.
Are you puffing?
No, not at all.
I thought you were meant to be an athlete.
It's nerves. I get nervous.
All right, you need to tidy your bedroom up here because this is looking quite in a bit of a
Mum
shambles.
wouldn't be proud.
No, she wouldn't. She did tell you to start, being a little bit more mature, and this is just an absolute mess. But this is inside Psyche. Look at that, absolutely stunning boat. Gorgeous. And the thing that I really like about Psyche here is just this beautiful tile work. You just don't get this on the new boats. This is just beautiful, isn't it? That gorgeous turquoise goes lovely with the yellow submarine hull. That's where the stove goes when they're in cruising mode. It's very noisy. And there you can see that there's a bunk there that needs to get sorted. There's another bunk there. And it's always important to have a chart on the chart table. Great to see this beautiful vintage chart on board Psyche. And of course, you've got to have a Stewart 34 hat, which somebody should probably be wearing. All right, Paul, can you just quickly let us know how far away are we from the next start?
We are 4 minutes.
Oh, ship and McTimbers. Okay, 4 minutes away. I might actually stay down here for the moment. Yeah, I'm not going to go back there. Bradley's just having a nervous wee before the start of the second race of the night. We're going to stay on board Psyche. It's a little bit too tough to switch boats while we're out here, especially when they get racing underway really, really quickly. So I might go for a different angle here because it is the rain is coming down a wee bit, and it's not great on the equipment. So if you are just tuning in, we're getting ready for race 6 of the Stewart 34 Championship Series here in Auckland, the 60th anniversary of Stewart 34 sailing. We are on board Psyche, very well-mannered team. EJ, what's the plan now for this race?
Opposite of the last one, I think.
I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach, but I think we should do better.
Looks like. I think so too.
Solid input there.
Yeah, we think so as well.
We did travel through Europe a wee bit, and I gave you some advice over there as well. I really hope that you listen to this particular advice.
Will do.
Now, how much am I going to be in the way
You're
here?
like right in my pre-start trimmy spot.
Right in your pre-start trimmy spot. Do you think that I care? Because we're after the best angle here, Tim.
Yeah, well, you'll get the angle of my elbow at some point, I think.
That's all right. That's not as bad as what we had last time when I was on board Playboy.
Sorry,
Oh, God. So in that race, in the first race of the night, we had Psyche first, Prince House second, and Playboy third. From what we saw, we were quite busy watching the back of the fleet. We ended up third to last in that one.
Coming up it.
So
They didn't move the line, eh? You got this one? Yeah, I got 155.
So the advice is a pin end start and head left. Yeah, I reckon that was, don't know if that was listened to or not. Okay, so here we go. Actually, now it's just standing in the companionway.
How long we got?
And there's the Playboy. Great to see the banter coming through. Everyone has their favourites here in the fleet. Stewart 34s. These boats have solid history, and I'd love to run it through with you all, but I've lost my talking notes because I can't get to them.
Happy to take back when we can, bro.
But that's all right.
Packing as soon as we can, we're just real slow.
Can't do anything, mate. What do you want us to do, guys? What do you want us to do, mate? They're coming up. Swing.
Holding on the wind, not tacking. All the way up, man.
The start, as you can see, we are a long way back.
Yeah.
Very late.
Really hurt. Yeah.
Very bad start. Psyche has once again nailed it. Prince Hal, as you can see, just gone around the boat end. We had a very bad tack. Sammy Barnett on the Princess calling out that Plateri has no rights there, so they are having to force themselves to slow down. You know, it's actually harder to sail these boats in light breeze than it is in heavy breeze. So here we go for race 6 of the Stewart 34 Championship Series. Now Bowman Bradley is trying to communicate with Princess, who has a fellow Knots Racing team member on board, telling him to tack and get out of our way. Obviously Sam's not going to listen because he is in control right now. Tebby, talk us through that start.
It was atrocious, but you know, just got stuck under a boat when we tacked back the boot to the boat, and they decided to come down and we can come up, so what are you going to do?
Do you think having bad races is all about character building and making sure that you're better next time?
Yeah, something like that.
So do you think we're going to be better than last race?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're
What was that?
I just said you reckon we got a piece of Playboy.
Oh, I reckon we can get a slice of Playboy. Maybe just one page of Playboy? Oh, sorry, that's a magazine. Moving on.
Looking low down there, Nick, eh?
What's that?
You're looking light.
Low and light.
I think we're going left here, eh? So
Yeah.
I think there's more breeze on the side.
So Nick, we're heading left. Is
Yeah.
that the wise decision?
I think so. After a start like that.
Yeah. We've got height if you want, Nick.
How often do you practice starts, Nick?
Not enough, obviously.
How much are you hating the camera right now?
So much.
no risk of being over that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite conservative.
And Paul, and tell me about your regular crew. Do you think you'll invite them back next time?
Yeah, look, they're welcome because they're very quiet, well behaved. We'll just see how much beer they've bought tonight afterwards.
There's a nice lane to tackle now if you want it.
A little bit of shit here, eh?
Yeah. Probably gotta go turn here, eh?
Okay, you call it, bro. I can't see
Yeah,
it.
stand by. Okay, 2, 1. On your hair in 15.
Just doing some slight adjustments to our setup here because the rain is setting in. So if you are just tuning in, we are now on the first beat of race 6 of the championship series. On board Psyche, we finished 3rd to last in that race, which is you know, actually quite disappointing. Quite disappointing.
You're telling me.
But you know what, you've got to take the bad with the good.
Hey, we haven't done too bad.
I don't know about that.
You gotta look on the bright side.
Look, the bright side is that there's cold beer back at the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron post racing, and that's the thing we're looking forward to right now.
Maybe just stick it up on the plate. I don't know what else to do.
Maybe the pressure of having the onboard media has got to these boys tonight. We can see that Psyche has control of the fleet again. Prince Hal mixing it up at the top there with passion. Playboy is a fair bit back. Why don't we'd love to see if we can make our way up to the bow there with Bradley. Hi Bradley.
Hola.
Hola. Are you going to do better on the first drop this time?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah?
Yeah, Ethan was carrying me a bit in the last one.
Yeah, I mean you were quite rubbish, so...
He's got sore shoulders.
Right.
Post-race debrief from that was it.
He does have beautiful hair though.
He does. Luscious locks.
We're getting quite saturated here. Guys, how happy would you be if we lost the stream right now?
Lost though.
Nick, when I saw you before racing, you were enthusiastic to have us on board today. It's alright, it's all character building.
It's not good.
So the breeze has dropped down to about 6 knots now. We are at the...
Okay, Guy did pretty good by...
The tide will be turning now. We're starting to come in. The call was to go left, but now we're going right. We're in a very shifty part of the harbour on the western side of the bridge. Looking up the course area, it does look like Psyche, who won race 5, is going around that top mark first. Playboy won't be happy with their position there. There'll be a lot of vocals on board Playboy. There'll be a little bit of wake from one of the ferries. We are in a really, really light zone right now. Need to change a few gears.
Gears are changed, still feels like shit.
In case you missed that, the gears are changed and it still feels like shit.
Something around the bottom of them, but I feel like we've made a gain out here, but not a huge one.
Knocking down here. Should we take this?
Yeah, just take that. Yeah, 2.
The rain may have finally killed my stabiliser. One moment, everybody. Oh, yeah. Nope. Okay, just bear with us for a moment. A few technical difficulties, as can be expected. There we go. Water and electrical equipment always goes well together. So there you go, Prism just doing a tack in front of us there. We are now on the right hand side of the course, coming into the top mark. Whew, what a challenging evening of Stewart 34 racing. It's very, very quiet on board. There's a lot of very strange looks coming our way from Bradley on the bow.
Super pressed. Backstate's going to fly. Make it steep arrow.
There's enough breeze. Okay, so now we can...
As much as we do joke about being dead donkey, it is quite painful being at this part of the fleet. slightly mortifying and just unlike these guys.
Hey, you can't win them all, eh? Shouldn't lose them all either.
Shouldn't lose them all, no. Luckily we've got the downwind bandit on board, Nick Egnott Johnson, who managed to do quite well on the first couple of downwinds.
They're doing bloody well.
Was that a little bit of cheek from the back of the boat?
Something like that.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
Love you guys too.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on board.
No, that was good.
Oh, wasn't it?
See, so when you're at the front
Go
of the
bowl
plane,
when
you
you're
don't
in,
get to see all the action. You get a better view from here.
You do. You get a great view of the fleet when you're this far back, I'll give you that. As we get ready to get to that top mark for the first time in race 6, which is the second race of the evening. Hopefully we have a decent set this time and a good downwind. We've got Prism and Parteri in front of us, as we got Bradley right on the bow there. A little bit of breeze has just picked up as we come around this mark as well. When I say picked up, I reckon maybe 2 knots. So I feel like we just accelerated when we went down there.
Holding.
We do have an offset here. We're just sliding over Parteri quite nicely there. Hoist has been called. Look at that gorgeous lofts there. Hoisting that halyard. Beautiful kite set as we have a nice little roll over the top of Prism, who are struggling to get their heads all down. There they go. Although that kite's not really quite set, it's disappointing for those guys as we will roll right over the top. So this is where we were in the first race. Fingers crossed that we don't hang out down the back of the fleet too much. Getting ready for a jibe here now. Didn't quite hear you, Bradley.
Coming up here, guys.
As we pinch up. EJ now using some of his match racing skills to try to get some advantage here on this first downwind leg. You can see Sned here working the main. Concentration from young EJ here.
Bit of main coming on here, guys.
I can't see the trim.
As we roll nicely over the top of Prism. Speaking a little bit quietly because it's all quiet back here. Used to having to talk quite loudly when we're on board Playboy. As you see there, the Spinnaker struggling now with our dirty air. How are you feeling right now, Tim?
Well, we're not on last anymore, so it could be worse.
Is that Cunningham doing anything?
Cunningham's green, eh? 5.
So we have managed to pick up a place. Still not ideal. Oh, geez, and I just got a rope to the back, and I think that was a shut up, Sue Ellen.
Yeah, that wasn't intentional, believe it or not.
Well, I don't know. Some people would beg to differ.
We put the soak in here and
Trying to make Parteri come up so they have to jibe, and we can roll them on the other one.
yeah, nice.
So what's the tactic here, Nick?
Trying to bring Parteri up so they have to jibe, and then we can hopefully roll them when they jibe.
Using a few bit of your match racing skills here?
Yeah, this is a bit of match
right
racing.
anyway, Nick. Happy to we'll get the turn in the jibe.
Good point.
We don't want to sell ourselves.
Probably right turn.
Might want the left turn, eh?
Nice to have a turn clear air. If that's going to be right turn. Confirm right.
What turn do you reckon's up here, Brandon? Can't really see.
So at the moment, the crew are just deciding which gate mark they're going to go around.
A line of pressure going down the back at present.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming down from there, eh?
So we want to left turn, bro.
Left turn.
Yeah. I reckon we can build up above here.
It's going to be quiet. Yeah. I've got a swing. Okay. What about right turn early tack?
Not swing here.
It's just
No swing now.
we won't be late. Go love him.
We going right?
Yeah.
Right, left turn right. Big right.
It's gonna be shit, that's all. Gonna be 2 drives, guys. Delay it. Stand by drive. I'm gonna wait for Prince up.
Yeah, yours. Man pole it for something.
Okay, stand by drive, guys.
Yeah.
2, 1, driving it.
Brace, give me brace. East brace.
This seat forward, easy seat forward. Biggie, biggie. Brandon?
Yeah.
Run that forward here, sorry, get the seat.
Okay, we are back, and I believe that we sailed into a Vodafone dead zone. So we're going to get a bit of an update as to what is happening out in the rain. Guys, what's going on? How did we go there?
Same as last time. Third to last.
So third to last. Nailed the consistency.
Yeah.
Excellent. And we're about to go into sequence for another race, is that right?
Sequence again. It's yours, Fred.
So yeah, look, I do apologise everybody, we were going along quite nicely, no punches to the face, no cables pulled out, but we did sail into a bit of a dead zone. Unfortunately, and broadcast was interrupted, but we are back, and hopefully we can get you all involved again for the third race of the night. The rain has set in quite nicely, which is a bit disappointing. We're currently down below again on board the Psyche. Bradley McLaughlin there on all the way from England to sail in this series, getting the Spinnaker down. So if you are just tuning in, this is take 2 of the Stewart 34 Championship Series. We're about to get underway for the third race of the night on board Psyche. We have had 2 less than exceptional races, finishing third to last in both, but consistency is pretty solid. Wouldn't you say, Bradley?
What do you want to know?
Yeah, our consistency's been quite solid.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker there. I think we just got a bit stuck in the bunch at the start, but it's all part of it.
So tell us what's challenging about sailing these old heavy boats.
Oh damn, they're heavy for a start, and they're really skinny, so you think you're going a bit further than you are, and turns out there's no boat there because it's so slim. But yeah, no, they're quite good fun. Big kites, so quite good fun in the breeze. But yeah, the class is good. Some good people in the class.
And is there anyone you'd like to say hi to?
Hi, Mum. Yeah.
Do you think she'd be proud of you in your sailing career right now?
Right now, probably not. If she'd seen the last 2 drops we did, but yeah, I don't know. I hope so.
And how are you going to improve for the third race tonight?
Just stay calm, get better, learn from my mistakes.
And what would you tell the kids at home that are watching who are taking on every single, tactic and move and drop? Stay at school. Good advice.
Don't do it.
All right, how far away are we from the next race?
I'm not sure. I think we're just, the race can be, they're getting ready, so probably a couple minutes.
Okay, cool. Do you want to, again, do you want to just tidy your room here?
Yeah, just going to tidy my bedroom again.
Do you need to have a nervous week?
No, not on those things. I don't know how to work those. Too many buttons and flicks and switches. Go with nature off the back.
All right, we don't want to distract you. Get yourself sorted.
See ya.
So, back down below on the absolutely stunning Psyche. As I said, they just, this boat is mid-renovation, but they just don't build them like this anymore. We did point out the tile work before, but if you are just tuning in, I just think it's important to see just how beautiful this tile work is here on the Psyche. This is original. You'd never get rid of it. How are we going for rain out there?
Spitting, moist.
Okay. All right, EJ.
Yo.
Tell your fans what's going on.
Well, waiting for the wind to come back to the left. Not sure if the course is going to get moved. Had a big right-hand shift. Yeah, bit of a later on starboard.
So what advice would you give to the kids who want to take up pro sailing?
Just get into the Stewarts.
Yeah, get into the Stewarts. It's all a pathway, I think.
And Paul, just let's just take a moment to use this time just to tell everybody why the Stewarts are so special.
Well, they're not easy to sail. I think these guys know. I mean, Nick's a great sailor, and here we are racing to the back of the fleet. So they are a tricky boat, and as Brad's pointed out, they're heavy, they're skinny. There's a lot of ropes, but they're great fun, incredibly responsive, and everyone who sails on them really loves them.
Why do you think that the Stewarts are still so strong after 60 years?
Basically, because the boats are so good. That is the fundamental reason. They are fantastic to race, and it's close racing, and as I say, it takes a lot of skill to get a Stewart going well, and they're incredibly rewarding when you do get them going. And
tell us about some of the famous people that have sailed Stewarts, apart from Nick Egnott-Johnson.
Well, there's Brad.
Bradley McLaughlin, Tim Stanton.
Oh, I think there's a massive list of people who've come through the class, and who spent a bit of time sailing the boats. Too many to mention, really. The history's out there, they're probably all watching now. Scotty, so the Dixon family, obviously, Roy and Chris, and basically everyone who's all the big names that are in yachting now from the 90s, from the 80s and 90s. From New Zealand, have all had a turn in the Stewarts.
Said Rod Davis, Brad Butterworth, just to name a few as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the beauty of these boats as well is that you can change gears and just be cruising within a matter of minutes. Isn't that right?
Absolutely.
And do you think we're cruising at the back of the fleet here, Paul?
Yeah, we're gonna put a roast on shortly, and we'll have a few beers and potatoes. Yeah.
All right. So the race committee is just reassessing the situation here. The breeze has changed, isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, it's gone to the right. I've chucked the green top mark in, which is pretty close to the beach. Not sure how deep it is up there.
Do you think there's risk of running aground?
No.
No?
Good.
Do you think there's risk of picking up the top mark?
Yes.
So Nick, tell us what's next for you with your match racing and knots racing.
We're off to Sydney on Monday to do the Musto Youth International, and then after that we're back in New Zealand for a bit, and then the boys head off to Bahrain in the Middle East to do a regatta up there, which is a first for all of us. It should be a bit of fun.
And you guys have had a successful year, currently second on the world rankings. How does it feel to be that amazing?
Oh, you're making me blush too. No, we've kept pretty busy this year. We've just done as many regattas as we could and had a lot of fun along the way, and luckily the results started to show for themselves, so we're super stoked with that.
Good stuff. Why don't we go and say hi to a few of these other boats whilst we're... Yeah, let's go do some tasting and some talking. This is Prince Hal. Now, Prince Hal won the series last year, didn't they, Paul?
And the year before as well.
And the year before. What makes Prince Hal so good?
They've got a fantastic team. They've got Mark Bond, who's a helmsman, is a great helmsman, and they've all been sailing together for a long time. And a lot of the guys work together. They won the 88 championship. They're experienced, cohesive, and great boat as well.
And there's Psyche that has had extensive work. Rumour has it that Psyche is like a grand piano down below. Is that true?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful boat. It's a work of art. And Mark is sailing it really well this season. He's last year and the year before, he's sort of been a bit distracted with other things, but he's come back and he's just getting gun after gun.
And I think the distraction is the development of the new Royal Akurani Yacht Club, the Hyundai Marine Sports Centre.
Yeah, and also a round North Island race.
Well, yes, okay, we were going to mention that as well. But yeah, Psyche is getting ready to race around the North Island. Any other Stewarts planning on doing RNI this year?
Yeah, Pelagian, which is
We're on.
We're on.
racing non-spinnaker. So we've got 2 Stewarts doing it this year. Pelagian has done it before. Actually, Pelagian has done around New Zealand, and Mark on Psyche has done around North Island before as well.
So that sound that we just heard was the...
When was the other flight?
What?
Was it?
That wasn't the 5 minute. No, that wasn't the 5 minute. We've got no class flag.
When was the other flight? Yeah.
The Mark boat's moving the pin at the moment.
Yeah, so
Holding
that
together.
wasn't us.
Holding
The request, Paul, is actually to get you and a team to the Congressional Cup next year. The invite has officially just gone out from Scott Dixon. I think he wants to replace Knobs Racing with Team Psyche. Look, it is an outstanding regatta. Tell us a little bit about the Congressional Cup, Nick Eggnott-Johnson.
Oh, it was awesome showing up as the young guys last year and being able to race against all the top names, Ian Williams, Scotty Dixon, Taylor Canfield, Johnny Burnson, just like people that we all get to watch on TV sail. So yeah, showing up as the young guys, no expectations, and just having been able to kick it with them, super fun. So.
And it's great that those guys are now watching you on TV.
Oh, this is a bit more prestigious than the Con Cup, so no doubt they're watching this. So.
All right, I think we need to blow Scotty Dixon a kiss there. He's all over this.
Scotty.
So you can see that. What was that? That was not appropriate. So here we go. We, as you can see, the breeze has completely died out. The race committee have got some decisions to make as to whether we do get another race underway. Last time we got 4 races in. Breeze was about 15 knots last time we were racing on the other side of the harbour. Breeze is now completely, can we say, crapped out?
Yeah, we can say that.
We can say that.
one word we're not
There's
allowed
only one word we're not allowed to say. But you can see everyone sort of just moseying around. Let's go see if we can have a chat with Prince Hal. EJ, let's see how good your skills are to get us over to Prince Hal. And we'll have a bit of a chin wag. Yeah, look, that was, once again, Prince Hal showing us their outstanding moves on board. Although, please don't ever do that again. So we're actually trying to get over to you guys to have a chat. Do you want to just slow down? You're way too fast. You know, these guys love it. They want the broadcast, but when they see the camera, they run away. Maybe that's why they're so fast at the front of the fleet. Well, this is not working for me.
You can't see them?
Oh, I can see them.
on the bow.
How's the audio track compared to last session?
Yeah, look, it's a lot more calm on board Psyche than it is on Playboy.
Yeah, we've already witnessed some of that tonight.
So guys, we hear that you did get disqualified in the second race of the night. Should we talk about that or not?
Always bringing the old shit up.
You know, it's all about banter. Stewart 34s is all about banter.
Yeah, sounds good. Get the pull up.
Is there any protests at the front of the fleet? Is there any protests at the front of the fleet? I don't think they could hear us. Clearly I'm not loud enough. So if you are just tuning in, as you can see, we're not racing yet. We're
Got a
actually
good bounce, Ethan.
waiting for the race committee to make a decision on what's going to happen.
Yeah, that should be fine. Come have a look.
As the rain is setting in a little bit more, the breeze is dying. The tide is now coming in. Here's our mate's Playboy from last time we were on board.
Sorry? So you want the pin to go that way? Oh, okay, yeah.
Nah, don't ignore it. Ignore it. It'll take fucking ages.
Let's get it right.
Let's get it right,
Yeah.
Go transit, Brad.
Thanks, Guy. Just say yes.
So Guy gave some advice there on what the race committee should do, and what are your thoughts on that, Paul?
I think it's more important to get a race in at the moment, but we'll have a quick word with them and see if they're prepared to move.
The breeze is really changed, and the tide, you can see the boat, the start boat swinging around now as well. It's an absolutely stunning Monday evening. Polaris has got it right, they've got beers on board. It's the kind of Stewart racing we can get on board with.
With the metro steering and stuff, mate, get the engine on.
Okay, with 30 seconds from the start.
Timmy, do you want to swap places?
This is quite a good spot to trim the main from, so pretty happy, to be honest.
But I'm very close here.
That
Yeah, yes.
Tim,
good.
Brad, is that yours?
4,
Yeah, white
6,
thing, I think.
5,
It's pretty, it's very in my face here, isn't it?
2, 1. Alright, shall we get into position?
This is my position.
So would you like me to move?
Right, we're good.
Nah, you're right. Normally it would be my position, just because I like it, so I like
Oh, you're a
your
sweetheart.
bone.
Alright, here we go. So 5-minute gun has been fired. Well, the sound system has been made, there's no guns.
Keep speed on here.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get a better start for the final race of the night. Well, we're hoping this is the final race of the night. It could very well be. We thought that after race 3 last time we were out here, but they got another cheeky wee race away. Hey Bradley, you meant to be on bow. What are you doing so far back here?
I don't know, I just get a bit scared of it today. Just hit my head as well.
Well, that's because
Come on.
you're behind the boom here.
There's these good railings here though, so I can hold on tight.
Alright, bugger off to the front of the boat. 4 minutes to the start of race 3 of the night and race 7 of the 60th anniversary of the Stewart 34 Championship Series. We are on board Psyche. This is the second broadcast of the night. We did sail into a Vodafone dead spot, but thank you everybody for coming back. And we are hoping for a much better start from the young guns on board Psyche. We've got Nick Ignot Johnson on the helm. We've got Tim Snedden calling tactics and doing main. We've got owner Paul Groom back here holding onto a rope and the backstay. Concentration. I've only got about 6 knots of breeze. Very light here for what could very well be the final race of the night. Psyche is leading the charge. They've won both races so far, and us being quiet at the back of the fleet, can't really confirm the other positions.
A bit more ease if we can, and just want to keep speed on here. Boat's usually up.
Driving here?
Yeah, our angle's up here, so above boat. Teaching us Susie Red. Yeah.
Okay, tacking here. 40 seconds back.
Bowman Bradley has just said it's going to take us 40 seconds to get back to the start line.
Starting a minute, and driving.
One minute 24 to the start of the third race of the night, race 7 overall in the series. We're on board Psyche. You can see Prince Hal just on top of us there, with Princess and Prism there as well. The call from EJ on the helm is that we are racing now. 1 minute to the start. Seem to be quite a ways back here again, but 50 seconds to the start. Sitting just below Prince
don't
Hal.
want to be late.
45 seconds to go. The call has been made that we are now going into race mode. 35 seconds to go. This is race 7 overall in the series and the third race of the night. We are on board Psyche. 60th anniversary of Stewart 34 racing here in Auckland, New Zealand. We've got about 5 to 6 knots of breeze. We have an incoming tide.
No, just coming on the wind. Coming on the wind. Not tacking.
Nice little wind shift. The call was to tack, but we had a nice little shift there. And it's an individual recall.
Definitely wasn't us.
Definitely wasn't the Psyche that was over. Good call there, Bradley. Thank you for that insight. Can't quite see who it was. Who was over? Bradley, who was over? Can you see? So we go for attack. It's now very, very shifty. It's coming right down the harbour. Was southwest, probably got a little bit more west in it now. Again, not the greatest of starts for the Psyche team, but it's been a while since this young crew have taken control of the Stewart 34, so they're just finding their groove again. It does take a little bit to get the groove back in Stewart 34s, but we're going to play the shifts here. As we come back.
Press into it. We're slow.
Got no speed.
I think the right's going to be dominant.
Got to get the speed up then, guys.
So as you can see, the majority of the fleet have gone left. We are the only boat this far right at the moment. EJ looking over his shoulder, back to the fleet.
About to run out of breeze here.
Yeah, let's go then.
Yeah. 2, 1. Panicking here.
Nice tack by the guys here. So we are the furthest boat on the right hand side of the course. Everyone else has gone left. And if you are just tuning in, it's very quiet on board the Psyche for the third race of the night, race 7 overall in the series. Psyche has won the first 2 races of the night, and Psyche has been third to last in both. So there's consistency at the top of the fleet and consistency at the back of the fleet.
Just take some height.
Tide is now coming in. And it's all quiet on board.
No squatter on this one.
See Princess just down below there. You've got to take the good with the bad. What are we thinking, Ned?
Sort of a bit shit, to be honest. Just struggling to get starters away today. It's kind of making us go where we don't want to go. So
If you had a choice on this first leg, where would you be?
up there somewhere, I think.
So that the pointing is up there. We're back here. So we're struggling for height a wee bit.
Take your height, bro. Yeah. Be inside the willies, buddy. I don't fucking sail that low. I was feeling right now that we just stuck it up, you know.
This is why some of the world's best sailors have come out of Stewart 34s. because it's challenging, character building,
Feels like a good nose there.
frustrating.
Just lifting up here as well.
Is it okay? Okay. Wife's on the best.
It's very shifty here, Sned.
Yeah, she's all over the place. So many few knocks.
As we look up the course, we can see that Playboy and Passion. So we've got Passion here, Playboy here, and Pahi, who won the first 2 races, is back here. The comment was made earlier that it's a day where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Yeah.
Fellow Knots Racing team member Sammy Barnett on the Princess, and the boys having a wee giggle there that they just tacked on top of Sammy B.
Mate, your back stays on. Chill out.
So if you're going to have a win for the night, was that it?
Show's a little barred up over here.
If you were going to have a win for the night, was that it?
Yeah, anyone over 7 is a good one. You take them.
Okay, Passion's around first.
As we veer our way back, Passion has gone around in first place, followed very, very closely by the Playboy. As we sneak our way to the top mark, it's a very, very, very shifty. We're just getting hit with every knock imaginable. It's quite frustrating on board the Psyche. These boys aren't used to being this far back in the fleet, but it's character building, and sometimes you've got to go through the shit to get to the good stuff.
Paul's going on straight out the tack.
Copy.
Nice set by the Playboy. A little bit slow for Passion. Precedent there in third. Pahi coming around in fourth. We've got Prism and Prince Hal mucking around together as they go around that mark, heading towards the offset.
And tacking in 3,
Pateri there.
2, 1.
I'm going to tack right underneath him here. As we slide nicely in second to last.
Go hoist when you can.
Oh no, hold down, just going to sit it.
Wait down to level there, fellas.
There we go, the breeze has dropped off now. Probably only got about 4 knots and an incoming tide.
Pole forward here. Maybe
Stressful.
pole on the, almost on the forestay is the only way we're going to see it here.
What's a bit of snot hanging off the pole?
I'm going to be able to take your slack out your sheet.
Keep
Can I
going,
get a
mate.
2 shade?
Like that. And there's that one on the first 3. Just
Hey, watch with the tip of this kite.
lifting up big time here.
Yeah, I think we've got a gyro bay.
Stand by.
called a jibe.
Nice play to rotate here.
So it's not all about winning, it's about learning from your mistakes and making sure you get better next time. Isn't that right, EJ?
Yeah, no learning going on there.
You don't think you've learned anything tonight?
I think we're just getting punished tonight.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. Just can't get off the start line.
Is it frustrating?
Oh, hugely.
So what do you think a coach would say in this situation?
Probably just hit the line on pace on go, is what he'd say.
It's usually how you win races, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get to the front and extend from there is our usual game plan.
But I think I like the fact that there's still smiles all around. Are they real smiles? Are they real smiles or are they smiles of frustration?
Well, you just got to take it as it comes. You've got to take it as it comes. Yeah.
Well,
you call that because I can't see it.
Yeah. Big trunk.
It's definitely better doing this though than anything else on a Monday night, no matter how stressful or frustrating or embarrassing it might be. So if you are just tuning in, this is race 7 of the Stewart 34 Championship Series. It is the 3rd race of the night. This is the 60th anniversary of Stewart 34 racing. Some of the best short course racing you can do in New Zealand. We are on board Psyche, having an absolute giggle of a time.
To redeem ourselves?
Yeah. There might be one chance, so one more race.
One chance.
And the lads here are calling for one more race with an opportunity to redeem ourselves.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It is 7:30. The breeze is dying.
Oh, hang on, we're not doing too bad. There's a party from the previous month.
Yeah, that's right. Psyche, who won the first 2 races of the night, is just there.
Just don't look behind us.
Look, we've been looking behind us all night, and I tell you what, I don't know what to say, but even the B division's catching up.
It's called Horizon. Keep that thing come down.
That's all right. It's all part of it. You can't win them all, that's for sure. And we're definitely not winning tonight.
Yeah, but right now we're along with
Psyche having a bit of a shocker compared to their last 2 races, where they were leading. Where they did win. Mark Taylor, the skipper of that boat, who is doing the Sands Round North Island race this year on Psyche. He won't be happy. He doesn't like to be at the back of the fleet either. Actually, nobody likes to be at the back of the fleet.
I reckon they'll tip and tap and they'll drop. Like every day in front of us and there's going to be some shit. I reckon.
Playboy's on the left turn.
Breeze has died down again even more. A frustrating race.
They go cut left turn in pack and they're just going to shit on us.
Probably a minute.
We've got an overlap in these guys.
We've had prison with it.
Yeah, we'll be straight past them shortly.
There is your overlap.
How good's that?
You're inside this time. Hey guys.
We've got to get an early tuck in here then, yeah?
Yeah. Make sure you get a nice round.
What's the call, mate?
Left turn early tack.
Can we get this denial run all the way down the side here, Brad, so we should get a nice.
So jump up.
Yeah.
So we're coming into the gate mark for the first time in the third race of the night, race 7 of the series. Made for the drop. Once Bradley jumps down. Give up. And down it goes.
Give me the shake! Let it go, let it go, let it go.
Early tack on the mark, you guys.
Yeah.
No rights. No rights. Doesn't matter. You have no rights. It doesn't matter if we're head to win.
Tacking, call. Don't worry about the tack.
No, it's all clean. Let's put the mark.
Big one on, big one on.
Yeah. Bit of bus in there. Yeah.
So
That's what you're waiting for.
There we go. Finally a bit of action. Well done, guys. Get some vocals from Psyche, but there was no red flag. So we carry on.
Did we have the mark there? No. Okay,
Did you know we didn't have any rights in there?
What was that? Bradley couldn't quite hear.
Don't think we had any rights.
Don't think we had any rights?
No, we had rights.
We can always go back to the video referee and have a look.
Yeah, he was laughing. He was head to win.
Yeah. It's like, go on.
We're going, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, finally a bit of banter.
Yeah, I know, but we're going, isn't it? Here's a gap.
Where's the mate?
So it really has lightened off. Probably got about 4 to 5 knots now. We've got an incoming tide.
No, I think we're good on that. Oh.
We did quite well there. There's Psyche back there. That's a pink flag that they're flying, not a red flag. So whilst they said we had no rights, there's been no call for a protest. If there was, we would obviously go to the video referee, just like they did for the protest between Playboy and Prince Hal.
Weather, Ethan?
No, we're just feeling fast as here.
Breeze picking up there now, probably about 6 knots.
Now that the breeze picking up, we could do with some more jib halyard.
We'll pass more jib out here, Brendan. Yeah, copy. You just stay there.
Yeah, that's good.
Mate?
So the comment was made before about how skinny these boats are. Old skinny boats. You can see there's not much to them when you have a look at it from this vantage point. Yeah, just tuning in. This is the third race of the night and race 7 of the series. 60th anniversary of Stewart 34 racing here in Auckland, New Zealand. If you are just tuning in, thank you so much for joining us tonight on what has been a fun-filled evening of racing at the back of the fleet on board Psyche. There's a couple of B Division boats there coming down. On their downwind, B Division boats are no spinnakers.
Who does that guy trick sort of? Very good.
It's getting a wee bit chilly now. Breeze is picking up another few knots.
Higher and faster. Higher and faster than Sam.
Sorry, Bradley, I didn't quite hear. Louder.
Higher and faster.
There's a Princess there getting sucked in behind us. Fellow Knots Racing team member Sammy Barnett on board. Won't be happy that his teammates are leading him at the moment, but still early days. Princess could very well take control. Really not liking the coldness and the rain, guys. It's too much concentration going on board though.
Sammy's going to hold that one, isn't it? Do you want to do a jab set?
We can see Playboy is leading this race. Passion looks to be in second. No, Precedent and Prince Hal. Parteri, then us, and then Princess. Back further is Pahi. So Pahi, who won the first two races of the night, not having a good one in this third race.
Watch out for pressure.
Oh, got a bit on here.
Crossing.
Hold it. Crossing. Come down.
Oh, whatever. You had yours all the time, mate. Be in the room.
Hey, they've got no flag up. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're fine. They've got no flag.
They were like,
They're just being cheeky.
it doesn't matter about the flag. It's just easy to.
Can call upon the video referee, Paul. I think you're okay.
Yeah, I think we're sweet.
Here is fun.
It definitely drives that.
Yeah. Too late to change it, mate.
Okay, so we've got the kite on the other side now, so we can finish up.
There we go. There is no offset for this top mark. It's just a mark.
Just hold on the
Just
hoist
a
for
top
a
mark.
second. Hold on the hoist for a second. Time hoist. Go hoist. Go hoist. Sheeting on. We've drive there.
You got the brace there? Inside out. I won't know when you're ready. Big sheet on, Stanley.
All is quiet on board the Psyche as the race is on to not be last. Princess, Pahi and Prism behind us there. Playboy is currently leading the third race of the night. Race 7 of the series.
We picked up a place, Sue Ellen.
I'm super proud. That was impressive, guys. Well done.
You wouldn't call them impressive.
Well, no, I'm just trying to be nice.
I appreciate it.
2 incidents, or almost incidents, one with Psyche and one with Princess,
Got spin on it.
but we're okay. Are we okay, EJ?
We're all good.
What are we protecting at the moment? 4th to last.
4th to last, yeah. No, 3rd to last. No, 4th.
4th.
Or 6th.
Or 6th.
From 1st.
Well, it depends which way you look at it.
Yeah. 6 sounds better, doesn't it?
We'll let the boys concentrate now. Princess getting a nice little puff behind us there. And Psyche, who was dominating the first 2 races of the evening, back here with the white kite. We had a wee bit of banter with Psyche at the bottom gate mark. All is well though, there's no protest flag flying. We also had a bit of banter with Princess, but again, no protest flag flying. All very civilised on board. How far off are we from doing anything?
Doing anything?
Yeah.
As soon as you get up there, we'll drive.
You will, won't you? Cheeky buggers.
Another lap.
So we made our way to the bow. Bradley, tell us what's going on up here.
It's just on our way down to the finish of race 3. Nice hoist from the boys at the top. Nice little jibe set, last minute gear change. And yeah, managed to get ahead of our mate Sammy and on the Princess, which is always a bonus. Take a smug look off his face. But yeah, having fun.
And what do you love about Stewart 34 racing?
You've asked me this 3 times.
Yeah, I know. I want to get the real answer.
Oh, I just love the carnage. I'm not going to lie. Always a pleasure to wind up Guy Pilkington every now and again.
Well, you know what? I think he's taken the cake with us tonight.
Yeah, he's done pretty well tonight, unfortunately. But
well, fortunately for him.
Yeah. But yeah, just a good class, good people. And as I say, good bit of carnage.
As we get another vantage point here. Yeah, we can see that Sam Barnett's just behind us there. Breeze is dying. It's painful. It's raining. And it's very quiet on board Psyche. Almost too quiet. Oh, this is riveting. Riveting sailing for the viewers.
Got a wet bum.
What was that?
I got a wet bum.
Well, it's raining. And here we are up on the bow. It's really light, so we can come and do this. And we're coming down to the finish now in what is hopefully the final race of the night. It's wet, it's cold, it's uncomfortable, and we're not winning. Which means we want to go home. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just letting you know who's for you, mate. Yeah. I think you're doing a great job for me.
It's a bit scary up here with no lifelines.
Yeah, hold on tight. Slippery as well.
Don't tell me that. I'm accident prone. What? Hey, that's a nice jacket you got on there. That's
Thanks.
a great logo.
It is, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and tell us what's on the front there. Knots Racing.
Knots Racing. It's our match racing team.
Oh yeah.
Skippered by yours truly, Nick Egnott-Johnson. Legend of his own lunchtime.
Wow, you know what? We really have. We've really gone to a whole new level of boredom on board, haven't we?
This is extreme.
This is extreme.
This is yacht racing. This is traditional monohull racing at its finest. Doesn't get any more extreme than
You know what? We wait all weekend for Monday night Stewart 34 racing. I'll tell you what. Some more clothing because I'm quite cold.
It's pretty cold, isn't it? Oh, do you want me to hold that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just. Oh, we've really gone to a new low, haven't we? I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm cold and I'm wet and I want to go home. No, it's not. I'm having a fantastic time out here. This is the third race of the night, race 7 of the series. We've had 2 third to lasts.
Yeah, man, and a 4th to last at the moment.
And a 4th to last at the moment, but it's okay.
We're getting better.
You know what? It is all part of it, isn't it? It's not all about winning, is it?
No, exactly. You live and you learn.
Yep.
Keeps you humble. Just like the kid that fell out the tree tonight. We just weren't in it.
We had a few other one-liners that we were wanting to use, but we've not been able to. We haven't been close enough to Guy. We haven't been close enough to Playboy to use some of the lines, but that's all right. There's always next time, isn't there?
Yeah, always.
Always.
Usually we don't interview Bowman.
No.
We're not.
There's a reason
It's it's not usually this light.
You got the finish mark here?
Yeah. 2.
Oh.
Jeez. Okay, this is not ideal.
Easy now. Do you want to float that right, boys? Oh yeah. How nice of you. Too big to handle.
It's all quite civilised, isn't it?
It is. A bit mellow today.
All right, that looks like it's it.
Yeah. Like it's just like last year we did a right, didn't we? Yeah.
All right, that actually looks like it's it, guys.
Yeah,
That's it for the night. That's what we thought. Only 3 races tonight. Another outstanding night of Stewart 34 racing. What do you reckon, Nick? How was that overall?
Good fun. Like to do it again. Super tough though. Big heavy boats. Not much wind.
It's all part of it, and it's all a learning curve, isn't it?
It is.
Every day on the water is better than a day on shore.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well, that's it. Thanks to our volunteers from the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. Still finishing some boats there. Alright, so that's it. We are done for another night of Stewart 34 racing here in Auckland, New Zealand. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Sorry about the cut that we had, and next time hopefully we don't have that, but definitely better than the last 4 takes that we had 2 weeks ago. Thank you to... Where is he? Oh, the owner's gone forward. Thank you very much to Paul Groom from Psyche for having us on board today. It's a lot of fun. We always enjoy coming out here for Stewart 34s. We're on again next week, fingers crossed, and yeah, hopefully bring you more action, whether we're on board or back on a rib chasing everybody in the fleet. So thank you very much, and yeah, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening or whatever day it is, wherever you are in the world. We'll catch you next time. See ya.